I've done a lot of delves. I know a lot of people have. They're pretty wonderful. So I'm just going to cover some details I wanted to kind of put out in the world in case some people aren't doing them because they should be, or I may cover something that you don't know. So they're online. There's a lot of different specs individually for when you're doing delves, making sure you have enough interrupts. Um, Brawn is absolutely amazing. Depending on what you're going as, you're going to want to spec him towards. DPS is great. He can tank a bit. I've heard different reviews from different people. I would recommend that you can feel free to, if you are having issues soloing, you can just get a group together. The leader of the group is who will have their brawn. So if you have higher level one, whoever has the highest level brawn, that's the person you want to have the leader of the group. Okay. He does great healing. He throws out healing potions. When I was tanking in soloing, I eventually there was just so much damage going out that and my gear was too low, so I used him as healing to kind of make do. You can do level eights at a low eye level of like 585 by yourself, but it's going to take some work and some time. The mini boss can be a little rough if you're soloing at a low eye level, and so just be aware. Some of the packs are really rough if you're not spec'd right to have enough interrupts, depending on which class you choose. But a lot of people have DPS have had really easy times. But once again, when I do mine, I do with a friend sometimes, and then sometimes I do it by myself. And then sometimes it takes a little bit depending on which dungeon and my gear level. Okay. As far as gear is concerned, you're gonna if you have your keys, you're gonna be able to get your champion gear out of there. If you get lucky and you get a map, which is only out of the two small chests in the front, so you can do a bountiful delve. And these are all bountiful delves. So if you do, you can do regular delves to level up. So if you haven't done delves, you just do normal ones, not bountifuls. Go all the way through, save your keys, and use them on level 8s. So that way you can get the best gear. Um, should have covered that earlier. It's fine. So on the bountiful ones, the two front ones are the ones you're going to get the possible map out of. The map is the one that you can use before you go into a bountiful delve and add an extra chest, and it'll have a guaranteed heroic slot. The mini boss that shows up, it's just completely random. I've only seen him twice, and he's pretty rough if he spawns in a rough spot that isn't cleared out, or if it's just unfortunate. There's enough to run out of. He does a bunch of different abilities, but he can drop maps and other items, but most likely you're going to get the maps from those two small chests. So if you are saving, like if you have you run out of keys, you can still run bountiful delves. There's 4 each day. Once you've already used up all your keys, you can still go in and loot it to get a map, and then you can still run a bountiful one to get. So you can still just grind them out if you wanted to. I've only seen 3 maps ever, and I've done quite a few delves. So, but I would use it on. I was told it scales, so I just make sure you use it on the right level to make sure you get your heroic piece. I wouldn't do it on a low level one. I'd still do it on an 8. But mini boss, I mean, he's not that bad. I mean, you can look him up if you want to. He just has different abilities. It's just mainly an issue if you have not the space to deal with him. And usually he just shows up and starts having fun, and whether you have mobs or not. So it's just kind of from what I've noticed. Also, the first time you do your delves, you get rep. So basically, once you get rep for each of your reps, you won't, like any additional delves won't reward it. Whether it's on an alt or not, you just get that one shot. Because if it's in your warband or not, it only gives you that one shot. But it's really helpful. It's quite a lot of reps, so it's definitely worth doing at least 4. I'd recommend doing 6 so you can have that heroic vault, 3 different heroic vaults. It's the best way, because if you go through and you do heroic raid, not everybody's doing that, but the vaults are very forgiving time wise, and you can get a group in there, and they're really not that bad. And then heroic raiding is not that bad, but some of the bosses are difficult, and some people just don't like doing that kind of content. And the gear you're going to want probably as we get further in, it's going to be harder to get into groups depending on your eye level. So if eventually, as you are well aware, eventually everybody's going to be like, do you have AOTC? That's going to come in a couple of weeks. And if you haven't killed Queen in the last boss, they're not going to invite you to some of these heroic raid groups if you're bugging. So at least getting your eye level up by getting these slots in your vault are definitely really good. But also, I mean, there's a lot of other benefits. So if we look right here, you can see that with the delves, if you do an 8, you get a bunch of the ruin. You get a couple, like 2 ruin crest. If you do like a 7, then you get 4 of the carved one. Now, this doesn't seem like a lot, but if you don't want to raid and your focus is different, which is completely fine. The great thing about this is if you grind out these, get some maps. Like I got like 1 week, I got 2 maps, 2 pieces of heroic gear, which are upgrades for me, right? And on top of that, I've got friends I run with, so I like they're like, oh, hey, you've already done these, whatever. You don't have keys. I'm like, nah, man. Like I can get a map and get a piece of heroic gear. Let's hang out. Let's go run through it. And on top of that, I'm getting badges. It's like full of win, and plus you get a valor also, valor stones, which right now I'm capped, but normally it's always hard once you have valor stones because like you just when you especially if you're new, you're constantly leveling up your stuff. You just can't get enough valor stones. It's just kind of terrible, right? So I would go through and and as you see here, like on here, it kind of shows you your overall ways that you can get gear. Obviously, dungeons are great, rating's great, but delves, if you look at it versus the challenge rating and the rewards for the weekly vault, it's the best you got. It's the best you got. And some of them can be a little rough with interrupts and a little challenging to learn your class really well, but I mean, if you're nervous, just grab a friend, and it's pretty enjoyable. So, and they don't take that long. I can't say enough good things about delves. They're wonderful. I think Blizzard did an amazing job. They did mess with them a little bit and did some hot fixes that made things a little wonky, but they fixed that, and now they're completely fine. And once again, like, yes, it was challenging to go in at 585, but now that I'm like 600, whatever, they're jokes. It's like it's just, it's fine. I mean, sometimes things hit a little hard if you're not dodging. Like you need to learn these delves. Like the hard part is that you don't know what to interrupt. You're not using CDs or like you're not using enough CC, and basically you're not dodging stuff. Like whether it be the forward fire or they get a bunch of frontals that if you don't move out of the way, you're gonna die. It doesn't matter if you're a tank or not. Like if you have a whole bunch of hit points, like now that I'm at like 608, 609, like yeah, I can take a couple hits from one of their flame breaths, but if I'm in there for a couple of seconds, I'm dead. It is what it is. So you still need to be smart and learn, like just like anything else, learn what to look for. So, but the good thing about that is you can take your time. Also, if you're in a Bountiful delve and you lose all your lives, just go out and come back in and reset, and then you're not wasting anything. And then you can just restart it again. Be like, okay, well, now I've learned what this guy does. Oh, okay, now I know what this bubble spawns. Oh, I know I can fall off the cliff there. It's so it's pretty forgiving, and you can just. I mean, I love it because I can get up and go make some food and come back and then continue, and it's all good. Like somebody's knocking at my door. I can step away for a minute, and I can do this by myself. Or if I'm with, a friend, they can continue. They can start without me, and I can join as long as it's not killing the last boss. You can join a little bit later. So I mean, like, if depending what you want to do, there's lots of options. All right, I obviously didn't give a lot of direct visual stuff about the delves, but you're welcome to look up stuff if you want to look up stuff. Each of them are little mini dungeons. They're not that hard. I prefer to not. I don't do research on those like I do M plus and all that kind of stuff because it's just I don't find it necessary. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Keep an eye out for those maps. Good luck because they're hard to find. Because I've done probably like 40 or 50, and I've seen like 3 maps on 2 different tunes. So, okay. All right. Well, I recommend, especially next couple weeks, you should be maxing these out until we start getting into killing the last boss in heroic, and getting into mythic, or getting plus 10 keys. This is still going to be crucial to gearing, at least probably for the next 2 weeks, easy. Until, if once you get all heroic gear, I probably, unless you want the rep or you're running with a friend, it probably not going to matter much. But until then, I would say it's pretty crucial. All right. Well, thanks for stopping a minute. If you feel free to leave some comments if you would like videos covering anything specific. If you had any questions, feel free to leave comments there too. Yeah. If you like the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. I appreciate you. Take care and good luck finding some maps. Yeah. Get it.